The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. A few housekeeping items before we get started. Everyone is muted at this time as we are recording this webinar. If you have any questions, please use the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen and we will answer those at the end of the webinar. And I encourage you to complete the survey that will pop up once the webinar is over as well. Today you'll hear from myself, Jen Barnum, the Marketing Manager for Naviant, as well as Guy Schrader, the Manager of Sales Engineering. We have a lot of material to cover, so let's go ahead and get started. OnBase Community is the first and most likely the most important resource that we'll be showing you today. It's a really powerful interactive website that Highland has created. You do need a login for it, which Guy will talk a little bit about, but it is free if you are an OnBase client. It has user forums in it that are incredibly useful, some powerful search tools if you're looking for a particular topic, and MRGs are out there if you have really technical questions. Your licensing information is out there for your solution, as well as some information on Vogues, which I believe are now called interest groups. But those user groups are within specific industries. So government has one, insurance, healthcare, financial services, every vertical you can think of. They offer educational webinars, online discussion boards, and they're completely free to join. So if you are in one of those verticals, I do encourage you to check that out. So Guy's going to jump into the site now and show you around.
All right, thanks, Jen. We'll share the URLs, how to get to community on one of the last slides within this presentation. So feel free to sit back and just watch as I give you a high-level demonstration of this. When you first go to the OnBase Community website, you're going to be asked to sign in. If you do not yet have a login for the community, you just click on this Register Now right here. Again, any OnBase customer has the ability to go ahead and sign up. Highland actually does process that, and typically within 48 hours, they'll send an email back to you with whatever email address that you've used, stating here's how you log into the system. So this is the login page. I'll quickly jump in here. You don't need to sit here and watch me logging in, but here we go. This is the community web page. So I'll highlight a variety of different things here. You can see there's a bunch of navigation up here for products, services, solutions. We'll go through that in just a moment, but I first wanted to highlight the search box that's up here. This is very powerful if you're looking for any specific piece of information, such as what's new in OnBase 17. Just enter that information, hit enter, or hit the little magnifying glass over here. If it's going to process for me, I think I'm just getting a little too antsy here, waiting for it to warm up. But that should then search through all of the components of the OnBase Community website to tell us where it found any instance of what's new within 17. And I apologize that this seems to be spinning a little bit slowly here. I'm waiting for it to actually adjust. I can't control, unfortunately, Highland's website, but here we go. That you can see that there's a what's new in OnBase 17 overview, what's new in 17, what's planned for 17. If I want to look a little bit further, I can further home my search, such as Unity Client, what's new in the OnBase 17 Unity Client, perform that same search, and now you can see we get to much more detailed information. To dig deeper into any one of these items, just click on it and that will actually open up that particular page. In this case, you can see this takes me to a presentation video that's been out there. Something else that we go into quite often, if you're looking for any information on any particular OnBase product, under Products, OnBase, this will then navigate us to a page where we have further capability to search for any particular product. So enter the OnBase product name here, or you can click on the different categories. If you've ever listened to Colleen Alber's presentation on the 6 OnBase categories, the chocolate muffins are in my stomach. Hopefully that resonates with some of you folks. You can look for any of the different components here. If I'm looking for any of the capture components, again, I apologize. It seems as though things are spinning here. That would actually get us to all of the different capture modules that would actually appear over here on the right-hand side that give us the ability to navigate. If I'm looking for a particular product, such as application enabler, I can go ahead and type that within the search field here, press enter, and hopefully that will be a little bit faster for me. Unfortunately, it does not look like it's going to be any faster for me.
It typically, sometimes they're having a glitch obviously this morning, but it usually is lightning speed. So don't let this discourage you from
Exactly. So there we go. Now it took me to the application enabler page. You can see it gives you a quick overview. I can click anywhere over here to actually take me directly into that page for application enabler. And I'll take a few moments here just highlighting this because a lot of the pages within Community look very much like this. On the overview page, obviously, it gives us a high-level understanding of what the module is, what some of the benefits are, maybe some graphical designs, how it can be used, some key features, what the interface might look like, so on and so forth. But you can see I have a variety of different tabs here, such as there's blogs that are associated with this. People from Highland will post within these different blogs, further articles, presentations that have been performed. There's different forums where you can actually ask questions pertaining to this product of application enabler, and other people on Community can go ahead and comment, as well as the Highland folks, the actual developers. They may very well answer your questions also. So look at this as another communication mechanism. There's different downloads, there's support options here. Let me just go back to the overview tab really quick, just to show you some of the other ways from that first tab how you can access some of this additional information. We'll see here. Again, so sorry. This is frustrating for Jen and myself as we're sitting here also that we can't show you this information this quickly. But what we'll see is once this paints here, that on the right-hand side of the screen, we'll actually see different links to like the modular reference guides. I wanted to make sure that we talked about that because for anybody that provides that technical support within your organization for a product, the modular reference guides are immensely valuable to you and your organization. That provides boatloads of information pertaining to that particular product, how to configure it, how to use it, some support criteria, so on and so forth. Well, since we're spinning here, let's come back here and just show something else. If you want to look a little bit further at ShareBase as another product, for example, there we go. Very similar look and feel, and this is what I was talking about over on the right-hand side. You can see that these numbers here talk about how many different articles there are for the business information. 3 new feature previews that are out there. But as I look down here a little bit further, you can see I have some additional information for documentation, which is where those modular reference guides may very well be. They're typically called out over here, but that gives you the similar information. And depending upon the product, there might be some different tabs here for like API information as it relates to ShareBase in this particular case. Let's move on a little bit here. Services is something else I just wanted to highlight. We'll just work from left to right here. This is the Highland Global Services offerings with links to some different information here. And again, this looks like this is going to take a few moments to actually pop up. But again, this is Highland's perspective for the services, not Naviant's, where you can actually see some different links for conversion information, education, implementation, some industry components, so on and so forth. So feel free to check that out also. The solutions piece is really info on how OnBase can help you improve your organization within different departmental solutions or specific for the industry solutions. So you can see under the departmental, we have accounts receivable, payables, contract management, so on and so forth. As I scroll down, you can see that there's different solutions within different industries for financial services, government, healthcare, higher ed, as well as insurance. And even further down, there might be some package solutions that Highland has put together where if you wanted to look at further information, we'll use this OnBase Incident Case Management as one example of that. That provides some additional documentation, marketing material, potentially some technical information that's associated with that. Again, providing you more information so that you can make better decisions within your organization how to utilize OnBase in different fashions. There we go. So there you can see further information, high level, some blogs, some downloads for some marketing materials. And that was all behind the solutions piece. If you are a technical hat within your organization, technical is valuable also. You can see here there's a variety of different categories for general OnBase, where you can see some additional information for troubleshooting, dealing with the OnBase client, general OnBase information. If you have a web server, how Internet Information Server works with OnBase, implementing OnBase for virtualization, APIs, just highlighting a variety of these different things, administration for how to configure the system, how distribution services works, change management. The OnBase database is a key piece also, where behind here might be the database reference guides that are invaluable from a perspective of reporting upon the OnBase database, performing OnBase upgrades, how to utilize Highland diagnostics. Again, all things technical behind this technical tab up here. As Jen mentioned before, historically they've called them VOGs, Vertical OnBase Group of User Experts. They've now relabeled this interest groups. So this is more so for the customers and not Naviant personnel whatsoever, because this is a private community that we don't really have access to. Again, I apologize for the slow load time here, that this will actually allow you to participate, subscribe to any of these different VOGs or interest groups. Again, more so the community talking to each other, client to OnBase customer to OnBase customer. But you can see behind these interest groups, there's also the different OnBase events. So links to the OnBase community, the different Highland platforms. If you're an international customer, some different ways to get involved. And here's what we talked about before, these OnBase user groups for the different vertical OnBase group of user experts or VOGs that you're more or less, you are more than welcome to request membership into any of these different VOGs. Okay. You're not going to see Highland partners. That's just some view that I happen to have here, but I do want to highlight help, something that they added recently, that this is how you can navigate and further use community. While I've given you this 10-minute overview of community at this point in time, if you want to learn more information, learn how to navigate, feel free to use this help here. And a couple more things to highlight here. My OnBase is another really key piece to this too. Based upon your relationship to your organization, this is going to give you a lot of information to your OnBase system. I have a different view as an OnBase reseller, but let me just navigate in here, if I can do this quickly, into what it might look like from your perspective. You'll be able to see, again, your different modular reference guides. Let me pull up Naviant really quick here. So your view is going to be much more similar to, hopefully, this as it paints within a moment here, where you can see the current version of OnBase that you're running. There's going to be links to the software that you can download. There's our download to our current version of OnBase for our core version as well as the OnBase version. Any license certificates that you have. So you're going to be able to go ahead and get your response codes for license certificates here. Where things stand for any premium subscription that we'll be talking about in a few moments, where you stand within your maintenance level. And then over here you have a lot of information such as what your current licensing is for your OnBase system. Do I own this module? That's going to be behind this license code, as well as some of the other things here by tracking any of those support issues that came through Naviant that have been reported to Highland. This is Highland's support issues tracking system that you have visibility to where a particular issue might stand with Highland. So to really follow up here, notice a couple things here. I have my nice little profile picture here. You can click on that, where obviously you can sign out. I can view my profile, but there's a lot of different settings that we can set up here. And I just wanted to highlight this relatively quickly, that you can see I have different email settings, because each of these different products and different pages that I can view, I can go ahead and effectively join the communication as it stands for those particular pieces. So you can see one of my options here is my different followed groups. When this pops up from my perspective, we'll be able to see I am following Advanced Capture, Barcode Recognition Server, Community Live, so on and so forth. Where if you wanted to unfollow any of those groups, you can go ahead and click on that button so that you would not receive whatever your preference is for that email digest pertaining to that particular group. So keep that in mind also. You can follow other users on Community, so seeing all of their different posts. So maybe within your organization, you're interested in what your technicians are talking about on Community. You can surely follow those individuals also, and doing some different searches based upon different users' names. So again, that's a relatively quick preview of what the community OnBase Community looks like. So please explore that. If you don't have a login for that, I highly encourage it to take full advantage of everything that's out there for you.
Great, thanks, Guy. The second resource we're going to show you today is training.onbase.com. Again, it's a free resource if you're a Highland client. It's really evolved over the last few years, and it's your one-stop shop for training for OnBase. They've added quick look galleries, which are these little couple-minute videos that are short intro videos designed around a topic and a module. They're very helpful. There's courses out there. There's some e-learning resources, and Guy's going to walk through kind of the difference between them and show you where they are. But they're really designed to be very user-friendly. And then, of course, there's the paid subscription-based training, like premium subscription that Guy will also cover.
Mm-hmm. And the URL is quite simple, training.onbase.com. So let me show you that relatively quickly here. I already happen to have it open here. So you can see when you first go here, it gives you a lot of information pertaining to what's all on training. E-learning, new courses, certifications, technical support courses, so on and so forth. Up on the top here, you can see that I'm being welcomed as the guest. I'm not yet logged into the system. So you can see you have some visibility to this even without logging into the system. When you do log in, that same login that you request from the community is what's going to be utilized. Since I'm still logged into community on this other tab here, it automatically brought me into the system. So that will expose some additional things that might not be there. I now truly have full capability to use the system. So let's talk through a few different things here. You can see courses, schedules, certifications, your premium subscription, TechQuest, and My Training. I'm going to highlight just a couple of these different things here. Let's actually go through. Trying to remember where I wanted to take you first here. Let's go through some e-learning here. That you can see here, here's all of the different courses that are available to you that are free. This doesn't cost you anything further than being an OnBase customer, that there's 95 free courses that are out there. You have the capability of coming in here and searching for any particular course. So maybe if you're looking for something on something like WorkView, for example, type that in, click search, and that now brings back our 4 courses that are out there on WorkView. There's a case management and WorkView sales training, the basics. There's a quick look. There's something in, I believe that's Spanish there. If I'm wanted to look at this one further for this WorkView building your first solution, I just click anywhere on here, and that will now dig me a little bit deeper into this particular course. You can see it gives me some graphical information, an overview of what this course is, and then it gives me all the details for the course instruction, all the different components that are going to be covered within this. If I actually want to start this, I just click on any one of these different pieces, and this will walk me through this course through a combination of videos. There may very well be little quizzes that take place between the different sections just to validate that you learned something from that prior section. And to get full credit for this within your OnBase transcript, you do need to complete the final assessment after you've gone through the course. So it does tell you how long that course is, who it's really targeted at from a beginner perspective, and in this particular case, it is free also, and if there's any prerequisites whatsoever. So that's a similar look and view anytime I'm looking at any of the e-learning courses, or frankly, even the premium subscription courses that I might see a little bit further. Let's see, where do we want to go next? Let's go and talk about premium relatively quickly. Premium subscription is a fee-based training piece that when you subscribe to this, your entire organization has access to premium subscription courses. You can see there's a little bit of blurb about what premium is, but the actual premium courses, to pop that open, you can see that there's 224 courses that are out there. And again, based upon the information that you might be searching for, you can open up any one of these courses, and in a similar fashion that would navigate you through that. Again, you have that full assessment that's at the end of that course. There's a plethora of information available on premium subscription. I'd strongly suggest that you take a look at that for your organization. Again, everybody can use it, so it's not a personal subscription. It is for your entire company. Anybody that you set up with a community login would have the ability to utilize that. So you can see additional things here under some of the courses. There's instructor-led as well as e-learning courses that are out there. So you can see the more information about these different instructor-led courses. You can get to this in a variety of different ways. You can also look at the schedule for when these instructor-led courses are actually conducted. I want to highlight this relatively quickly because you can see that these are classroom as well as online training courses. You can click on any one of these headings and that's going to give you more information pertaining to introduction to workflow, for example. And here I can see this is being offered next week online in Spanish. Probably not valid for a lot of you, especially the English speakers out there. But these are both online courses as well as being conducted in different locations between Tokyo, Irvine, Westlake, Ohio, Kansas, so on and so forth. Great training that's available from that perspective. Obviously online, you can be sitting in your office, but you do need to be behind your computer at the specific times during each day because an instructor is leading that. You are just virtually participating in that course as well as now remotely controlling a PC that's set up in the Highland Training Facility so that you're getting the exact same content as if you were on site. I do want to highlight that they have now introduced some self-paced courses. This is something new that I just experienced the other day. But you can see, Introduction to Workflow is now being offered as a self-paced course. You could do this at your own pace at whatever time that you want. You can see some additional things such as advanced capture. If you're an AnyDoc customer, there's a handful of different AnyDoc courses. So monitor this. This may very well be expanding quite significantly in the future. If you're interested in any particular type of certification from the customer perspective, you can see that there's an OnBase Certified System Administrator and Certified Advanced System Administrator, Workflow Administrator, so on and so forth. If you want to learn anything more about any of those certifications, dig in deeper. That talks about all the different requirements for the certification. I wanted to highlight TechQuest. So TechQuest is training that takes place 3 times a year at Highland. So if I go into about TechQuest, that gives us additional information, who it's targeted for, what the upcoming dates are, and you can actually register from here also. We'll talk about that just briefly in a little bit, but that's great for the more technical individuals within your organization to help expand your OnBase solution. And I'd be remiss if I forgot to mention my training. Any training that you participate in with Highland is going to be recorded here. I'll take a look at my training transcript. So if you wanted to actually take a look at any of your certifications, where you currently stand, I'm certified here. I've let my work view expire, but all the different courses that you actually took place, participated in are going to be listed here. Great if you needed to use that for any personal purpose whatsoever. I think that's all that I wanted to cover within training at this point in time.
Great. So I just wanted to mention that if you are interested in any of these courses, you can definitely pop out to training.onbase.com. But when you actually register, you can just email marketing and we can take care of sending you some dates. We can let you know what offerings are available for online classroom. Those are offered year-round, pretty much every month. Naviant also offers system admin and workflow admin in the spring on site at our office, which is in Verona, Wisconsin. So keep that in mind. But please reach out to marketing. We can help you with anything training related. Again, finding cost, course dates available, and go ahead and get you registered as well.
I just wanted to highlight relatively quickly another resource that for some of you might be a little bit newer. It's called try.onbase.com. And really what this is, it's a sandbox environment, multiple, that Highland has set up that really allow you to play with the software before you would even consider buying it. So you can see the URL there, a couple of highlights. There are concept solutions out there as well as different self-paced labs that you can consider to be helping you to supplement your training that you might have. So really quickly here's the try.onbase page. You do need to request a login for this. Again, this would carry over from your community login that you might have. But you can see that there's different concept solutions. I'm going to really talk about this very, very quickly. They're broken down by departmental area, so you can see there's accounts payable, receivables, HR, different options there. If you work in the government space, for example, inspections, agenda management, plan review, Esri integration, so on and so forth. So there's a number of different options there. I do wanted to highlight that if you click on any one of these different options, it is going to allow you to get into the system via a web client interface or a Unity client. If you wanted to get the Unity look and feel to this, it doesn't download and install on your local PC a Unity client, but that's pointing to this solution hosted by the Highland Cloud. So you can clean that up later if you don't need access to that solution in the future, just by deleting that particular icon or doing an uninstall on your workstation. But these are fully functional solutions. The self-paced labs are much more product focused. If you're looking at learning more about Application Enabler, for example, you can click on this and that would actually now walk you through how to configure Application Enabler on an application that Highland has put on this particular virtual machine. You don't need to worry about breaking any of this because they all are reset on a daily basis. So feel free to explore these a little bit further and get your hands wet on some of these different training opportunities that might be out there.
Great. One thing I wanted to mention is we did put together this welcome guide, which everyone will receive a copy of after the webinar. It does highlight many of the things I'm going to cover next. One other tool that we developed that I think is really important to share with you is these quick reference guides. They're really developed to help familiarize new users with some common OnBase functions. They're visual screenshots with some help text to show you how to do some of the most common tasks in OnBase. Here's a list of all the ones we've currently developed. We have them built on OnBase 16 right now, but we are working on 17 as well. So I just wanted to highlight a few. The Unity client is the first one I wanted to talk about. If you want to pop over to that. Sorry. It really is, it's just a screenshot with some ribbons in there. So it talks about, hey, here's the lay of the land and where do you look for things? There's the taskbar and what is that for? The layout on the lower left corner shows you how do I view documents? Here's how you search for documents. Another one in this that I wanted to highlight was how do I upload a document? That's a common thing people ask in OnBase. This is kind of a one-page sheet you could send to someone or to your team to say, hey, here's the basics for how to upload a document. I wanted to point out the workflow one, which is the next page in this one as well. It's really meant to familiarize new users with the interface so they know where to look and how to do things. So it has the cues in there, the workflow ribbon bar, any filters, it shows the life cycles. The last one I wanted to point out is Outlook integration, and that's on page 19. It's way at the end, but
so if I can get there really quick.
Sure. It really is meant to be a nice quick hit to show you how to do things. So it shows you, hey, I'm in Outlook. How do I upload from a file? How do I import something? Where do I index the document? It's a nice one-page overview for someone that's never seen OnBase before, but they need to work in it. So that's what that is. Those are available on the link, which everyone will also receive a copy of after the webinar. Obviously, we talked about technical training. Guy mentioned OnBase Tech Quest. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Community Live. That's meant for all users, executives, business users, and technical. You can recertify and certify there as well. I encourage you to go to that and explore it. There's hundreds of breakout sessions, thousands of customers from all over the world go to that. Our summit is another fantastic event that we offer completely free of charge to all of our clients. There's over 200 clients and prospects that attend every year. It's a 2-day event really about sharing ideas around OnBase. Attendees are anyone from an executive to technical resources to department managers and business users. Day 1 is really focused on breakout sessions. There's customer presentations and panels, industry roundtables. There is an executive forum where we bring in a paid keynote speaker for those executives that attend, and then tons of networking opportunities as well. And then day 2 is focused on hands-on training. To learn more, I encourage you to check out the video that's on our website. We also host webinars. Obviously, you're aware of that because you're on one today, but the one that's coming up next is intelligent capture for accounts payable. So it's on December 13th. If you haven't received an invitation, please let us know and we'll get that out to you. But the solution spotlights are meant, this is what one you're attending today. It's a 30-minute overview of popular OnBase solutions or a topic that's come up for our customers. And then the support team also hosts a 60-minute webinar on the opposite months. Just a couple more things I wanted to highlight. Our website is a fantastic resource that has a ton of free premium content on there. So every webinar we host is recorded. There's videos out there, little 2-minute videos about accounts payable or insurance-related solutions. To access it, you go to the home page across the top, you click on resources and then enter the resource library. You can filter from there by industry if you only want solutions around government. I can focus on departmental solutions. If you only want a contract management resources to pop up, you can filter by that. A few that I wanted to highlight are these workbooks. Since you all own OnBase, these workbooks are available and they help you identify where else you might use OnBase or what might be missing from your existing solution or how can I further leverage my existing investment. We're going to send these to you afterwards as well. There's a general OnBase one, and then there's some solution departmental specific ones that we'll send you as well. We also host a blog. We post to it bi-weekly. Our support team manages the technical posts. Those are all password protected, so you do need to subscribe to it. But there are also business articles on there as well around some of our really important verticals. So government insurance are some key ones that we post to quite often, and tribal government as well. But there's industry articles, technical articles, a lot of tips and tricks from the technical perspective. I encourage you to explore around there and you can access it from our website. Then the newsletter we also host, it's a monthly newsletter and provides some important highlights. Last thing I wanted to mention is if you're into social media, Facebook is a great place you can learn about Naviant's culture and hear about some of the things we're doing in our own community. Here are the important links that we talked about today. And everyone will receive a copy of the recording of this webinar once it is over. So if there are any questions, we can take those now in the chat box.
Well, thank you, everybody. We'll stick on this GoToWebinar for a few more minutes to see if there's any questions that come through. I don't see anything at this point in time, but thank you for taking 30 minutes of your Thursday morning. We appreciate your time and hope that you learned something from this presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.